And a quick reminder, none of this is financial advice. This is just what I am doing with my money inside of ULTY. Welcome back, dividend stackers. This is Jorge Aguilar, and this is the ULTY YOLO experiment. This will be a quick one. So today isn't about hyper opinions. It's just about one question. Is the income doing what it's supposed to do or not? Let's break it down. ULTY currently stands at $37.67, but it did close at $37.55. So it's a nice 12-cent move up before the market closed for the weekend and this long holiday. I hope everybody's enjoying it. Take the extra time to relax, spend time with your family, unwind, and get ready for the next week. There's a lot of things going on in this world, and it's nice to just sit back and relax for a little bit. All right, so my share costs are now sitting at $52.73, and my break-even price is now sitting at $42.46. I now hold 313 shares of ULTY. My market value sits at $11,790.71. My total cash invested, which includes dividends, sits at $16,505.10, and my out-of-pocket invested sits at $13,289.87. And my dividends received for a lifetime now sit at $3,215.23. For the month, my dividends now sit at $448.27. We will get an extra week of dividends, so probably on our way to hit $700+ there. On the weekly net dividends, you can see there that the price continues to stabilize as far as the dividends that are paid out. And it's good to see that ULTY is actually up from the previous 2 weeks, and that's making a little bit of a difference here. My unrealized P&L now sits at a negative $4,714.39, which is a negative 28.56%. And my true gain now sits at $1,499.60, which is a negative 11.28%. So steadily making a comeback here. We'll see if it holds up. And there is one thing that I do plan to do with this portfolio before I incorporate the rest of the holdings that I plan on doing that I explained last week. If you didn't see that video, go back and check those out because I really go into and explain why that's going to be. But it's nice to see a comeback there on that price, or the true gain, that is. My after-tax dividends now sit at $384.91. The estimated additional tax due this year, I am planning on $63.36. My after-tax dividends, which is lifetime, out of those $3,215.23, it's now $2,687.45. which means lifetime I owe the IRS $527.78. Jumping to my transactions over here, you can see there on 115, I did buy 4 shares of ULTY at a price of $37.71. Kind of mad because it kind of fell a little bit or quite a lot and then recovered, but that still averages down my price. Now, this is not a drip. That is just an additional shares that I've been buying every 2 weeks with my paycheck. The drip now is gonna go into the margin to pay that down, as this is what ULTY will be used for going here on in the future. Quickly jumping over here to the dividends, you can see on 115, I did receive $160.25. The dividends this week were 51 cents, just shy of 52 cents. And my shares on record, there were 309 shares, which gives me that $160.25. And we are back to being 100% ROC for this payment. Coming back to the margin over here, my equity now sits at $8,838.95. I did pay down the margin a little bit there, deposited an additional $1,000 from my paycheck. It now sits at $2,951.76. And my Robinhood buffer is now 59.53%. Because of the margin use, I am calculating now that I will be paying 27 cents a day in daily interest to Robinhood for using that money. And I will continue to pay that down. That is obviously part of the experiment. Here is another view of that. The maintenance ratio for ULTY on Robinhood still sits at 30% for me. And my margin requirement sits at $3,537.57 cents. And the margin available I have to use here sits at $10,837.89. So quite a substantial amount there. I don't plan on doing anything with that right now. It will be used for bills later as I add additional money to the account and add the additional holdings there, but it'll be a padding for the account. You can see here on this chart, the ULTY's price has stabilized, and as I continue to see that, it gives me a little bit more optimism. However, there is one thing I will be implementing here, which I stated at the beginning of the video, and that is I will be implementing a put spread on SPY. Given all the issues that are going on, ULTY will not hold in a major drop down, and I need to ensure it that way. By my calculations, it will cost me about $400 for about 2 months worth of insurance, which I can roll and roll, and I'll definitely make it as cheap as possible there. I will share that next week. I cannot do that here because the markets are closed. So actually, I just thought about it and I can show you what I'm going to do. This is the plan here. I'm going to buy the 660 put and I'm going to sell the 620 put, which is going to cost me about $4.33 or $433. That will come out of margin. This hedge activates on a real market pullback, not a daily dose. So basically, if the market drops around 6 and 9%, this hedge should already be paying before things feel scary. It's designated to offset my ULTY losses, protect margin, prevent emotional decisions here. I do have a little bit of margin there and I do not want to get stuck with that. So I'm going to hedge here only because of everything that's going on here. I have not done this in the past, but it looks like a good time to do it here. So I'm going to go ahead and defend that part and hedge it. Now I just want to let you guys know that this isn't bulletproof. No hedge is really, but this gives me time, margin stability, and control. And that's how income strategies survive drawdowns. Not financial advice. This is just how I'm managing my ULTY position this time around. So again, it'll be the SPY March 31st put spread here, and I'm buying a 660 put and I'm selling a 620 put. My total risk here is $430 just in case. All right, and that is this week's wrap up. I know it was quick. I just wanted to make sure I shared that with you guys. Really didn't feel like making it this time, but ULTY was up. So hit a like if you like these updates. Let me know. Keeps me motivated. Share and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know if you guys would hedge your ULTY position here or any position at all, given the circumstances of what's going on in this world today. And as a reminder, none of this is financial advice. This is just what I am doing with my money inside of ULTY. ULTY YOLO out.